Welcome to the Daily Jazz episode with the detective. We are out in the field and we are speaking particularly about two particular subjects. Pastors are out there drunk. Pastors are out there doing all kinds of wild things. Now, Bushiri's pastor, one of Bushiri's ex-pastors, was also spotted drunk. He wasn't spotted. He was drunk on stage. And it was so obvious. His speech was blurry. He sounded like, you understand. But not only that particular episode, yesterday we spoke about Paul Crouch's son coming out, exposing that Mandem's father was out there wild, going on set for Praise the Lord on TBN. Remember, Paul Crouch, his father was the founder back in the 1970s and so forth. And after that entire jazz that came out, he actually got kicked out of TBN. People stopped seeing him, and little did they know, that Mandem was not coming back. But there was a lot more that was going on. Yeah, the story is really heartbreaking. We did an entire episode, but on this particular episode, we're talking about pastors being drunk. But I want to kind of like lay a comment on that particular story of Paul Crouch at the end of this particular episode. Structurality Show, the Daily Christian Commentary videos. Welcome to the channel. The Sexuality Check, as you know it, this video is sponsored by RA. They do key programming and key duplication. So if you're looking for one, do holler at them. The number is over there. Ask for a quotation and see how things goes out. Now, let's particularly start with the story of one of the pastors or the ex-pastors of Bushiri. Now, in case you guys forgot who this pastor is, this particular pastor here, if you look back, we did an episode when he left Bushiri. He didn't leave Bushiri on good terms, okay? He even said that there was threats, people were trying to be funny towards him and all that kind of jazz. And so Mandem came out, he said, me, don't play those games. He said, me, don't play those games. Me, if you do those kind of things, I will expose you, okay? Yeah, he was swinging very much heavy from that point. And so that was the first interaction of us with him. That was the first time we heard about him leaving Bushiri. Now, if you forgot his name, he is Pastor Mlaka Maliro. Pastor Mlaka Maliro left Bushiri not long ago, and he said there were some issues between wife, Bushiri, and they were trying to make his wife look a certain way, and the whole Nan Hajed, he said if they even try it, he'll come out and expose everybody. So that was the story that came out a while ago. Now, there's a video performance that happened very recently, and you can see the video right here. And this video happens when he is live performing, okay? People started recording, they spotted Mandem's step was a bit off while you are standing on there. And bear in mind, he was a pastor, né? Yeah, even ran a couple of, I can't remember exactly where which branches he actually was in charge of, but he was in charge of certain branches down here in South Africa. And so, that being said, okay, Pastor Maliro, when he exited ACG, there was all these stories and all that kind of jazz. He said he was going to defend himself. Mandem was not going to stand and just hear himself busy spoken about anyhow. So, he came out and he exited. But remember that this man is a popular musician back in Malawi. And him being a popular musician, this is where that video came out at. His speech there, you can hear him while he's singing. Some of this behavior, some of these things that some pastors actually adopt, they adopt them when they are still under false pastors. Because remember, some people can be convinced to join these people. They think these people are legit, even though they see all the warning signs. You see a man claiming that he's walking in the air, you still think, maybe he was just playing around. You know, maybe Mandem is real, but on that particular day, he was just playing around. So you allow yourself to believe that. You continue, you serve under that particular church. And after that, after a while, you pick up their behavior. They might be able to do this effortlessly, you know. They'll be there busy Hennessying themselves, you know, mojitoing themselves. Yeah, they're busy with the highest alcoholic beverages. So they can be out there doing all these things, and you never see them expose themselves like that. But then you join. When you join, because you see you are not a pro. You are not a pro. So because you are not a pro, once you exit, those habits you carry with you. It's the worst thing that could happen, is that you carry these habits forward after having been there. Okay? And so that's where the negative aspect of it come in at. And now, this actually goes straight into the Paul Crouch story. Because the son, this is the son, he was not adopted. No, this is the son of Paul Crouch. His name literally is Paul Crouch Jr., the founder of TBN. When he came out, he said his father was battling with alcoholisms. You understand? Now, that was not the only thing he spoke about, but he then spoke about how he would even be on set while they were doing Praise the Lord TV, show at TBN, and he would be drunk on set. Okay? He would be drunk on set. And it got worrisome. He even confronted him about it and all that. But the thing that I wanted to add to that story was something that I once said when we spoke about SCON. Okay, the Synagogue Church of All Nations. After T.B. Joshua's passing, and there was now the wife now coming to take over and be the one that rules over that particular church, there was something I once said, and I remembered it this morning, and I thought it's important we add that to the story. We once said, a lot of times these people will never have any bad press talk about each other. So what happens is that even if things are happening, they will never come out and openly say it. Okay? So because TBN never said anything about Paul Crouch and the wife doing dubious things, because they never admitted to that, people might just assume it's not true. Because these people never acknowledge these negative stories. Which is why people would say, oh, why is it that you're always covering bad stories? No, me, I'm covering the stories that you are likely not to see. Because me, I'm following all the stories. And I'm just here to report and say, yes, you see that what the Bible told us, that there will be people like this, here they are. I'm just here to just announce it, basically. It's nothing more. I'm not adding. All I'm saying is that the exact same thing that the Bible tells you that you're going to have in the last day, where people are lovers of themselves more than they are lovers of God, you're going to see it, and this is it right now. So that's the thought I wanted to bring back to this video, that the same thing that I said back then when we were talking about SCON not coming out, because after the pastors left, SCON didn't want to admit that they had left. No. They were busy dodging around. And so now you see exactly what I meant in that story, to say they will not admit, even if there is a bad story in the church. They'll leave it be. They'll just tiptoe around it and try not to address the entire subject. If you remember that episode. If you don't, it's because you're not subscribed. Why is the red button still red? Subscribe. Sub what? Yes, subscribe. And so in that episode we highlighted that, and we said, because they refuse to acknowledge the bad stories or the stories that are happening within their church that are negative, you will not get the sight of things. So because people don't have an admission from TBN that Paul Crouch was like that, okay, you remember with another particular minister whom we all respected, Ravi, and there were stories about him that actually came out, and the organization itself had to go and investigate, and they validated some of those stories. And so these things, because those people don't acknowledge them, it doesn't mean it's not happening. It doesn't mean it's not real. And so now, when you see a pastor, an ex-pastor, who was part of the ECGism over there, who is now coming out drunk, and there's this behavior as you hear about people from ECG, including the pastor himself, and you see something like this, are you waiting for them to now come out and say, hey, yeah, in case you are wondering, this is also true? Is that what you're waiting for? They will never acknowledge the negative stories. But at the same time, They will be very bold at telling you what your life should have been like this, your life must be like this, your life must be like this. They use those things that your life should be like in order for them to extort money out of you in the name of get a blessing, plant a seed, what. All those things. They use all these jargons that they know you're going to fall for very much. At the end of the day, the thing to note here is this. People involve themselves in habits, and these habits drag on. And when they involve themselves in these habits don't just drag on, they now struggle to get out of those habits. And when they struggle to get out of these habits sometimes envelop, they take over the person. And so dismissing them, making it look like there is nothing, doesn't help the situation, doesn't help the subject. They're not there cleaning their churches. They're not there doing the ushering, organizing everything. No, they assign these things to people. And so their life gets a little bit of freedom. When their life gets a little bit of freedom, what happens is that they then involve themselves into all kinds of things because they are too idle. They are too idle to keep their eyes on things. And also, Bomandem's sight is not on Jesus. And because their sight is not on Jesus, all these other things that they involve themselves in, at the end of the day, becomes too heavy upon themselves. So it was a very sad video. It indeed is very sad when you see a pastor like who just came out of ECG not long ago. And now, I did see articles that were saying that Malawi 24 said he was booed off stage. I didn't see the booing part. I did hear people who were singing along with him or who might have been critical in the audience, but not booing. I didn't see that particular part. But hey, he might have been booed off stage. But either way, the gospel minister who is a former pastor at ECG was spotted drunk.